Hi everyone, it's Jane from Illumini Body here with another weekly hip stretch. This week we are going to be just working on the hip joint in general. In fact, we're going to be working a little bit on loosening the joint capsule of the hip, and just working on getting that femur head, the head of the thigh bone, really nicely situated and sort of sinking into the hip socket. This is very important because you want the head of the femur to be able to move in the hip socket very efficiently. And if it's kind of stuck, it's not going to do that, and the muscles are going to react, and you're going to have tight something or sore something or painful something likely. So usually hip flexors, but it can be many other things. So anyway, so the only thing we need today is a mat, hopefully without a dog sitting on it. If it is, you might have to push them aside. And that's it. So we're going to be on our backs. So I'm going to have to move this dog over. Thank you very much. And we're going to bring the feet to the ground right in front of our sits bones. And the first thing I'm going to have us do is just feel our hip points. Bring your fingertips to the hip points. And we're just going to sort of shift the hips to the right and to the left. And when I say shift, I really mean rock. Just sort of rock them to the right and rock them to the left, just to get a sense of how much the pelvis can move around the thigh bones. So I don't want the legs to be moving here. I just want the pelvis to be moving. So if the thigh bones are going side to side, try to keep them from doing that. And this is a very small motion because there's not a huge range of motion without the blades moving, but you want to be able to have that mobility. Okay, then we're just going to see how much mobility there is there. Then we're going to bring one leg at a time into tabletop. We want to make sure that our pelvis stays grounded and that it's not lifting up or tilting down with an extra arch in our backs. We want to be really in a neutral spine, neutral pelvis. And we're just going to bring the hands on top of the knees and give very gentle pressure downward. So with this gentle downward pressure, you can see if you can feel the heads of the thigh bones or the heads of the femurs sort of getting a little deeper in the hip socket. So they're situated a little bit more firmly. And then from that secure feeling, we're just going to start to stir the knees in circles, and they're going in opposite directions. Sorry. Okay, that's enough. And as we do this, we're just going to notice if there's any part of the stirring that feels like it's a little harder to get through than other parts. And if there is, just sort of slowly go through that range of motion and see if you can kind of give it a little extra attention and a little extra, I don't want to say push, but just a little slower going so that you can kind of work it out. Okay, then we're going to go in the other direction. And there may be different places where you feel stuck or different ranges of motion. And again, we don't want the pelvis rocking forward and back or side to side. We want really everything just still and stable and just moving the thigh bones and the hip sockets. And it's not a big range of motion. Again, we're just trying to get things worked out and even them out a little bit. Good. All right. And then from here, we'll bring the feet down and we'll bring our fingertips to our hip points again. And we'll just do that same little rocking side to side and just see if you notice any difference in how much maybe play there is or how much mobility there is in the hips and that hip movement around, the pelvis movement around the thigh bones. Yeah, there's maybe a little bit more, which is good. So I would do these knee stirs maybe 3 or 4 times and see if that just makes a difference, just a little bit of loosening up to get you going. All right, thanks. If you have any questions, you can email me at jane@illumini.com, and I'll be back next week with another hip stretch and probably a dog. All right, bye.